First appearing in his self-titled game on the NES in 1987, let's take a look at the Blue Bomber himself, Mega Man.
Mega Man!
Fans were blown away when it was revealed that Mega Man would be a third-party fighter in the newest installment of Super Smash Bros., and it's quite obvious that Nintendo loves Mega Man to death because literally every single move he has is a reference to something in his classic games. And when I say moves, I don't just mean his attacks, oh no. Even his running, jumping, and dying animations all harken back to the good old days. Mega Man even handles similar to his classic titles, right down to the fact that his most basic attack in Smash Bros. Being his trademark Mega Buster. This makes Mega Man unique from any other character in Smash history in that his neutral attack is a projectile. The Mega Buster is an arm cannon that can fire compressed solar energy. You heard me right. Solar energy. Those are, in fact, not lemons. Starting in Mega Man 4, Mega Man was able to charge his blast into the amazing Charge Shot, and quite fittingly, his side smash is just that. Besides the Mega Buster, Mega Man also has one more classic move in his basic abilities. His down tilt is a slide that was first introduced in Mega Man 3. While the slide itself isn't usually an attack, I'm willing to wager that the power behind this technique is more so based on the Charge Kick from Mega Man 5, considering that not only does it deal damage, but Mega Man can't change directions when performing it. With all the basic stuff out of the way, this is actually a great segue into the meat of this analysis. Most of Mega Man's attacks are derived from the various robot masters. You see, what really makes Mega Man unique is that once he defeats his enemies, he assimilates their powers like the Borg from Star Trek. Almost every single one of Mega Man's moves in Smash Bros. Are based on these powers. Let's take a look. The most obvious Robot Master powers that Mega Man has in his arsenal are his special moves. Take a look at this one. Taken from Metal Man in Mega Man 2, Mega Man's neutral special is the Metal Blade. Fans will tell you, the Metal Blade is hands down one of the most popular powers in the entire Mega Man franchise, and it shows. This weapon uses up minimal amounts of weapon energy and can be fired in 8 different directions. In Smash Bros., Mega Man retains the ability of tossing the blade in all 8 directions, even if this animation for throwing the blade upwards makes absolutely no sense. The Metal Blade can be swapped out with Bomb Man's Hyper Bomb from the original Mega Man, where the bomb is thrown in an arc and it explodes upon impact. There's also Shadow Man's Shadow Blade from Mega Man 3. Like its metal counterpart, the Shadow Blade can also be thrown in all 8 directions, which is actually an upgrade from the original 5 directions that it gets in Mega Man 3. While it might be weaker than the Metal Blade, this shuriken is also a boomerang! For some reason, but who's complaining, right? Moving right or left along, Mega Man's side special is Crash Man's Crash Bomber from Mega Man 2. This projectile latches onto any player or surface and can be transferred from one player to another, much like the Gooey Bomb. The Crash Bomber can be swapped out with Iceman's Ice Slasher from the first Mega Man, and while it deals less damage than the Crash Bomber, it can also freeze enemies. And if that's not your cup of iced tea, you can always swap it out with Burst Man's Danger Rat from Mega Man 7. This power is one of my absolute favorites because it fires an explosive that's wrapped in a bubble. Speaking of floating, Mega Man has 3 options for his up specials. He's able to either summon his Robot Dog Rush to activate the Rush Coil, or his Robot Bird Beat to lift him into the air. Weird, I wonder why Mega Man has so many robot pets.
Well, since I'm the resident Mega Man expert around here, let me fill you in. Mega Man had multiple robot companions. Rush was built by Dr. Light to help Mega Man out on the field, replacing the transport items from Mega Man 2. While Beat, on the other hand, was built by Dr. Cossack to help Mega Man after he saved Cossack's robot daughter Kalinka from Wily in Mega Man 4. Mega Man has also plenty of other overlooked helpers such as Tango the Cat and Eddie the flip-top robot suitcase. All of them named after real-life well-known bands and singers.
Huh. That's pretty neat. But then how do you explain the Tornado Hold option? I mean, is it based on some sort of flying goblin?
Close. That move comes from Tengu Man in Mega Man 8. Tengus are half-bird swordsmen in Japanese folklore who often use Aralia leaves to create and control winds, so it makes perfect sense for his weapon to be the Tornado Generator. Did you really think I'd drop in here without giving you a little case of culture shock?
Yeah, bad jokes aside, let's move right along to Mega Man's down specials. First up, there's Woodman's Leaf Shield from Mega Man 2, and I know, leaves aren't exactly the most intimidating weapon in the world, but they're pretty effective in blocking projectiles. And let's not forget, without the Leaf Shield, I can't defeat Airman! If you're not a fan of the Leaf Shield, then don't worry, it actually gets worse. Instead of leaves, there's the Pedal Power of Plant Man's Plant Barrier from Mega Man 6. Beautiful. At the very least, at least Smash allows you to throw your plant barrier as a weapon instead of it staying stationary like its game of origin. And on that same note, the last option of Mega Man's down special is the Skull Barrier from Mega Man 4. Like the plant barrier, this one isn't exactly accurate to its NES counterpart because not only can you throw it, but the Skull Barrier also reflects projectiles here in Smash. At the very least, I'd say that floating skulls are a little more intimidating than a rotating salad. As we move away from Mega Man's special attacks and onto his standard moves, let's take a look at a huge surprise in the form of his dash attack, the legendarily awful Topspin. Allow me to enlighten any non-Mega Man fans who might be lost as to what I'm talking about. The Topspin sucks. Obtained in Mega Man 3 from everyone's favorite robot master Topman, the Topspin is considered one of the most useless power-ups in Mega Man history. In its original game, the Topspin can only be used in the air, it uses up an almost random amount of weapon energy, and it has a really wonky hitbox. Still, just look how effective it is here in Smash. Alright, enough of my ranting about Beyblades and on to the next move. Interestingly, a few of Mega Man's attacks aren't directly the way he uses the weapon in his games, but in fact, he uses them the way the Robot Master would. For example, Mega Man's up smash is the Spark Shock from Mega Man 3, but while the Spark Shock is normally just an electric projectile, in Smash Bros, Mega Man's hands turn into electrodes and he performs an attack similar to Sparkman himself. Similarly, his down smash is Flame Man's Flame Blast from Mega Man 6. Instead of simply shooting a fireball that hits the ground and turns into a pillar of flames, Mega Man is able to put both his hands on the ground and summon 2 flame pillars. Not too shabby. But let's crank up the heat a little more and talk about Mega Man's forward aerial, Swordman's Flame Sword from Mega Man 8. This allows the Blue Bomber to perform a quick overhead slash with a sword made of solid fire. But if you can't stand the heat, you can always go for Mega Man's back aerial, Slashman Slash Claw from Mega Man 7. Or you can be a little more down to earth with his down aerial, which is Hardman's Hard Knuckle from Mega Man 3. Or if your head's up in the clouds, you can always try Mega Man's up aerial, Airman's Air Shooter from Mega Man 2. This little tornado can be great for lifting opponents off the top of the screen with its many rapid hits. And last but certainly not the least of his countless Robot Master powers, Mega Man's 4 grabbing techniques are derived from Gutsman's Super Arm from the first Mega Man game, which allows you to pick up every enemy, including Bowser, with just one hand. But this ain't over yet, because Mega Man has a couple more moves to take inspiration from other titles. His up tilt is a jumping uppercut known as the Mega Upper. This move first appeared in the long-forgotten arcade game Mega Man 2 The Power Fighters, but it was popularized in Marvel vs. Capcom. And finally, we have our hero's fan service final smash in the form of the Mega Man Special, where Mega Man summons his various Mega Men of his different spin-off titles. There's Mega Man Volnut from Legends, Shooting Star Mega Man from Star Force, X from, well, Mega Man X, and Mega Man.exe from Battle Network. Together, they unleash a mighty blast that you are not going to want to get caught in the crossfire of.
The winner is Mega Man.